So the last 3 days we have just experienced the greatest sporting event in the world, and if you are from continental Europe, you're probably in a fantastic mood. If you're from the US, probably not so much, although as you kind of had your asses handed to you, you're probably not actually feeling that bad. It's not what I was expecting, really not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be very tight. The matchup of the teams, both if you like use the world ranking as kind of a guideline, and I thought both teams were pretty much balanced. I thought when it came to form, it was pretty much balanced, and I was very fortunate. I had the perfect scenario. I didn't get up Friday morning, so I didn't see any of the 3-1 loss for the Europeans, and then from there I watched the rest and I watched a dominating performance. Yes, very shocking. So today's video is a little recap of my thoughts on this year's Ryder Cup. I always feel sorry for the captains in the Ryder Cup, because no matter what preparation you do and how well you actually do, if you win, you're the hero. If you lose, you are the villain. And I'm feeling a bit sorry for Jim Furyk. I don't think he did much wrong. I'm seeing on social media really saying about the wildcards and how he made a mistake in his picks. That is how it transpired. Tiger didn't score a point, Phil didn't score a point, Bryson DeChambeau didn't score a point. Phenom was actually pretty good. European Sergio was fantastic. Stenson undefeated. Casey, I thought certainly his point in the singles against Koepka, I felt like that was the one that actually stopped any remnants of an American comeback. And Poulter is Ian Poulter. And now that we've got all the facts in front of us, it's very clear that the whole dynamic of the tournament, it was on those wildcard points. But if we go a month back, Jim Furyk's picks looked far more secure than the Thomas Bjorn ones. I've done videos on the channel, there was loads everywhere about Sergio. I thought he had it in him, but he had shown nothing this year that he could produce, and he did. The one thing I think Jim would change is he wouldn't have picked Phil if he had picked them after the Tour Champs. He looked very ropey in the last couple of events in the FedEx Cup, and Le Golf National, you need to keep your ball in play. Phil couldn't do that, and he was always going to struggle as a result. But again, Phil is a great player. I'm actually one of the few that thought it was a good idea for him to play in the alternate shot on Friday, and get some comments down below if you strongly disagree. You know, the way that the course was set up, he could utilize his irons. He was going to get, I think, the majority of the par threes. A lot of those holes, like the first for example, isn't a driver. So playing in the alternate shot, he was actually able to go around and not hit driver. So that works if he plays decent, which he didn't. So can you see, it's not the decision, it's actually just the fact that he didn't play very well. We get to Tiger. So Tiger, he'll get some stick in the media, as he always does. I didn't think he actually did that bad. You know, you've got to take from where he's come from. To play the amount of golf he did, I thought he was okay. I'd be giving him like a 6 out of 10. He certainly didn't play as well as he did at the Tour Champs, but he wasn't horrendous. But he came across what could be the greatest European tag team of all time. Francesco Molinari, Tommy Fleetwood. Excluding Justin Rose, I would say those two were the most informed golfers going into the event, certainly from the European perspective, and they delivered. You never know if they can do it under that pressure. We do now. And Tiger got his ass handed to him through them playing really well. Both of those Europeans aren't renowned for being great with the putter. You know, they are fantastic long game, especially off the tee. The Golf Nationale set up perfect for their long game. They were also holding putts. You can't beat that. So feeling a little sorry for Tiger that way. And it's the nature of match play. And it's actually the reason why there won't be more match play events being added to either tour, because it's unpredictable. You know, tennis, the seeds tend to make their way into the latter stages of the tournament. In golf, it doesn't work that way. It's why the match plays that are on the circuits at the minute have been made into round robins, something that I hate, by the way, but it's to ensure you don't get upsets. And I would say Tiger's pretty much his whole record in the Ryder Cup, I don't believe it's that he can't work with others, or he's very much a individual athlete and that's the way it is. I think it's just the nature of match play, and it's that is where it is. Of the tournament, without a doubt, Francesco Molinari. He was just incredible. When was the last time he missed hit an iron shot? You know, was it this year? Was it last year? You know, he was just so level-headed, teamed up brilliantly with Fleetwood, and then and took out Phil at the end. Very strange way to get the handshake. I thought it would have been nice if he could have rolled a putt in, but 5 points, no losses. Got to be the man. First person to go undefeated, play in every event, and win a major that year. So, Francesco Molinari, I salute you. Worst player of the European team, and this is going to sound harsh, and if this player was on the American team, I think he would be getting some stick right now, and that's Rory McIlroy. You know, I love his passion, I love his desire, but he didn't get it done last Sunday at the Tour Champs, and he didn't get it done this week. He didn't hold the putts he needed to hold, bar the 17th on the last day, to be fair to him. And I just think Rory expects a little bit more from him. Because the team won, I would actually like to see this as a nice thing for Rory, kind of a little kick up the buttocks to really get a strong finish into the season, practice hard over the winter, and come back really strong next year. So I'm being a little critical, maybe too critical, but I actually see it long term being something of benefit. I was extremely impressed with Thor Oleson's performance on the Sunday. Jordan Spieth seems to struggle in the singles in all formats, which is a very strange one, because he is so tenacious when he gets in the heat of the battle at major championships. So that's a surprising one with Jordan. I think it goes along with like the match play comments I made with Tiger Woods, but yeah, he didn't look that good today. And Oleson rightfully played his way onto the side. Not easy to sit out, but the way that the teams were balanced, I think that was the right decision for Thomas Bjorn. But he came out strong, took his opportunities, didn't give Jordan Spieth any incentives to actually try and get back into the match. So was very impressed with that rookie performance. Best player for the US team, Justin Thomas. He just looked good. And whereas I've kind of mentioned Rory not really getting those real power plays in and really turning the screw, Justin Thomas, when he didn't hold a putt, it looked like he was going to hole. He was very clutch, lots of energy. You know, he had a good event. Very strange calling him a rookie, and I think before the event, and like he was a rookie, Fleetwood, you know, these guys aren't rookies. You know, they have learnt their trade, they've played in some high pressure situations, and they've shown that they can take it to the main stage of the Ryder Cup. So yeah, definitely Justin Thomas gets my vote
for sure.
What did I not like about the Ryder Cup? There's two things. One is a strange one, and I don't know why I feel this way. And that is, I would have liked to have seen that last match half. I thought it was very awkward watching Bryson DeChambeau finishing off that match with Noren. You know, everybody's like partying, celebrating. The crowd have kind of lost interest, isn't the word, but they're all really being really loud, and you could just see, like, especially with his personality and how methodical he is, you could see he was finding it very awkward. He then plays a fantastic shot into 18. I think it would have been fitting for them to like hug it out. You know, he gets his half a point, and it wasn't meant to be. Alex Noren, and Alex Noren, he's so underrated. It was also quite nice to see him box the putt and kind of give Bryson the whitewash. But it's yeah, I don't know why I feel that way, but I think I would have liked to have seen Bryson leave France with at least half a point. And then the other thing I didn't like was how none of the matches went down 18, or such a minimal amount of matches went down 18. It is their signature hole. It's such a great hole, and it's the perfect match play hole. And I would have just liked a few more matches to have gone down there. You know, what we saw happen with Rory. When I played there, I don't think it was that bunker. I think I went in the bunker further up. But they're great because you can see the shot. You can see the career shot hitting it on the green, but it's not really on. And it would have been great to have seen just a few more matches go down there, especially some of like the better balls, because I think we would have seen a lot more people in the water, a lot more aggressive plays. So that was the one thing that I didn't like so much. But if that's the only thing you can argue, it has to have been a pretty good event. I think the crowds were great. I know there was a little stuff on social media about the players booing. I'm not advocate of that, but I think with the European crowds, it's a bit more pantomime. You know, they do it in more of a humorous manner. I had a few other people, I had a few friends actually at the venue, and they said the booing wasn't anywhere near as bad as what they were making out on the TV. But yeah, it's a fun environment. I think the Ryder Cup, it is an exhibition match, and I don't think there is that hatred. You know, when you play like a derby match in any sport, there is that unpleasantness to the rivalry. I don't feel like that was there this week. If you're an American, you might disagree with that. I think the American crowds probably went a little too far at the previous one, and maybe the Europeans were trying to step it up into that kind of realms a little bit more. But I felt watching it on TV that the crowds, they were very jovial, very pantomimey in the way they were behaving. I mean that in a good way. All the players seemed to be enjoying it. Really liked how the Americans were kind of, you know, giving it this, trying to play up to it. I thought that was quite nice as well. Patrick Reed probably brought out that at the wrong time. Don't do that when you're about to lose your match. So two things I don't agree with is, one, the European team want to win it more than Team USA. You know, I'm very fortunate now to live in the US. You know, I have a job here. I've been here the last year. The American population is really patriotic. You know, they love their country, and they certainly love representing it. So I do not believe in any sporting scenario you could put a USA uniform on an American player and then not try as hard as they possibly can. So I don't buy into that. I think they maybe struggle with the team aspect because they don't play it as much. And I think in Europe we play a lot more, certainly foursomes in like amateur, like at county state levels, and going into playing like the home international stuff. So I think those players have probably had more experience playing team stuff, but it's certainly not a lack of desire, and it's not certainly the Europeans just want to win it more than the USA. And the second one is the course being too hard. You know, a lot of the commentators were comparing the Golf National to like a US Open setup, and if you look back, even if you look back to Shinnecock, you know, a lot of the US players did very well. You know, they know how to play in tough conditions. Might not have been what they were expecting, and they certainly didn't have as much local knowledge because the majority of the Europeans had played in the French Open multiple years. But it wasn't that it was too hard. There's a big difference between not being able to deal with the conditions and just not having the knowledge that the others have just for the fact they've played them more. So it will be interesting what they do in 2 years' time. You know, they'll definitely make it into a birdie fest. I don't know why I'm trying to play devil's advocate there. They will make it into a big runway and birdies, and that will suit the Americans, the longer hitters. But the Golf National wasn't too hard for Team USA. No, that's not how it works. All global players, all can get it done. Thanks for watching this review. I'm really pleased that obviously Team Europe won, but win, lose or draw, the Ryder Cup is always a fantastic spectacle. Get some comments down below. If you were the captain and be the captain for your team, what's the one thing you would have changed? And do you think that change could have made a difference to the overall outcome? Hope to catch you soon.